We're here on a plot of land next to Langney Priory, which is just behind me, which is actually a grange or medieval monastic farm. And we are doing our second excavation of the year on this plot of ground, which is really great. I really like doing these excavations where we are not necessarily in remote places like up on the downs, although that itself is lovely, but being in the heart of a community is really good for us to engage with the local people here, which we have been doing a lot. So a lot of people have been asking what we're doing here, and the reason we're here is that there's some plans to do some planting on this land to create a community garden. I think maybe some fruit trees and things like that. And because this area is so close to the Priory, which is a known medieval site, it's known as an archaeological notification area. And so what we need to do is see if there's any archaeology beneath the ground that tree roots and things like that could potentially damage. So we've opened up, I think it's 8 trenches, to actually look at what's under the grass. And we haven't just sort of dotted them round randomly. We did a geophysics scan beforehand, which is a radar scan, which should pick up anomalies or features under the ground that you wouldn't necessarily see. And what those did pick up, we've then identified through these trenches. Now, I have to say, the jury's still out on what any of them are at the moment. Some of them appear to have nothing in it, others have a lot of archaeology in it. But certainly we've picked up through the soil here, we've picked up a lot of medieval pottery, and evidence that people have been on this site for a very long time, even some worked flint, and maybe a structure, possibly. So this is very early days, it's just the second day of excavating, so I can't really tell you much more about the archaeology itself, but it's a really good site to be on. There's a lot that could be here. I certainly haven't found any walls or anything like that at present, but yeah, I mean, time will tell. Most of the trenches we opened up over where we thought there would be some archaeology, but this one we opened up where we thought there wouldn't be any, because you need a test trench to actually see what the natural geology and soil is like, and also to compare the other trenches to. And this one is certainly, it worked out well because there is no archaeology in it, but there's a lot of good soil and geomorphology in here, particularly because you can see here the changes in colour here are mainly because of the way that things have dried out now. This is topsoil followed by a subsoil, and this is a soil which would have been ploughed. It's got sort of bits of medieval pottery in it and that sort of thing, even some prehistoric pot, and then you're down to the natural clay. And this is what everything around here would have been built on. So built on this silty clay. And it's quite important for us to know, so when we look at the other trenches, if they're different, we know that something else has gone on in them, and it's not just the natural deposition that this one shows.